Hey guys, welcome back to Overhit. In today's video, I'm going to be covering my top 5 SR units to look out for in the game when you're summoning to help you with early progression. Now, there are going to be a lot of other units that are going to be handy for raids and that sort of stuff, a lot of the single target based units. But for this one, I'm going to look at the ones that are going to help you more early game, keeping in mind, you know, I'm not a complete expert at the game yet. We're still figuring it out ourselves, but I feel like these top 5 that I've chosen are pretty solid. But let me know in the comments below if you guys have any other SR units that you're really looking out for or that you've tested on soft launch and really do like. And check out the comments and see what other people have to say. I'll pin some good messages if I find them. So we'll jump straight into it. At number 5 for me is going to be a Marty. So she is a really interesting unit. She's probably she's sitting at number 5 because she's not the most relevant throughout. She's handy earlier on when you're surviving pretty well. Once you get into hard modes, she's not going to be as strong. So we'll check out her skill. So leader skill, for me, the leader skill of SR units isn't really important. I feel like in most teams you're normally going to have at least one SSR, and that's normally going to have the strongest leader skill that you're going to use. So she just has some I don't know whether I don't know whether I'm calling it grass, wind, or earth, but you know, she's got the wind allies by 20%. It's not amazing, so we're not even worried about that. But we go and click on her first skill, and she puts poisons on 3 enemies and also decreases their defense as well. So for those 3 enemies. So really nice debuffing. The poison is nice for extra damage, but the defense break is what you're really looking for there to increase your damage, especially AoE. Be it only 3 targets, it's still AoE, it's still a good wide range of enemies that you do hit. The poison is only 50% success rate. However, the defense break is 100% success, and that really will help you early, like I said, early on when you're surviving pretty well. Just help speed things up and get some good AoE defense break action. There's not too many easy to obtain defense breakers in the game that I've seen, so I really do like it for that reason. Then we look at her second skill, and it's really nice in that it is only a single enemy attack, but the chain effect deals an extra attack to enemies affected by poisons and decreases their damage if they are affected by poison. So the chain effect is really nice, and it synergizes well with her first skill, applying the poison, and then her second skill having the chain effect linked to the poison. A lot of SR units don't have that. They have a chain effect that's related to a debuff they don't apply. So I really do like that synergy. The decreased damage of an enemy is really nice too against bosses in progression as well. So she's that one that's going to help you speed up with the defense break, some poison damage, which is always nice. And then she also does have that damage down and good single target damage against a single enemy, which happens at the stage 10 of each scenario where you do get that boss that you really need to get down. So that is why she is number 5 on my list. She does drop off, like I said, when you get into hard modes, when you want more survival in your kits. But yeah, she's at number 5. Moving on to number 4 on my list, we are going to be looking at Victoria. Now, Victoria is one that I'm pretty sure you do get given her at the start as one of your units. And she's just got a really nice kit. Increases attack of all allies by 10%. Once again, we're not really looking at the leader skills. We'll jump into her first skill. And her first skill, once again, this synergizes well with Marty if you're using them both together, because she does have the poison as well in case Marty's AI uses skill 2 over skill 1. But she's dealing poisons and damage to 4 enemies. Really, really nice. Only a 30% success rate on the poison. Does skill up, but still not a bad effect. Early on, when you're trying to look at early progression through campaign, AoE is really nice to have, and that's why when we look at her second skill, it adds to that having another 3 target AoE, and this one also being really nice in that it decreases the attack. Really good for damage mitigation. Once again, all these go up with skill ups in how much they do decrease by, but just having any sort of mitigation, defense buffs, attack breaks, all really nice. And the fact that you're getting these tied into a skill that's also doing AoE damage is really nice. And just before we go any further, that is pretty much what you want to look for when you're looking for a good unit in this game that I've found so far. Because using your skills, you know, you don't get to use them all the time. Like, they're not being spammed. You've got that global cooldown of about 8 to 10 seconds. And when you use a skill, you want it to be doing multiple things. So that's why in this list, things I was looking for were units that do attacks that also give buffs or attacks that also heal, or buffs that also heal, stuff like that. If you can get multiple benefits out of one skill, that's what I was really looking for in my list, and what I've been using in my teams for progression so far on this account. Once again, I will be starting fresh on global, which coming soon. So moving to number 3 on my list, and number 3 is going to be, I suck at this guy's name. It's Sekiro. I think that's right. Don't quote me. But he's the dark tank. I didn't like him at the start, probably because I didn't invest in him enough, and he was just way too squishy as a tank. But once I put a few more upgrades into him and stuff like that, he became a lot better. So his skill set, like we were talking about, being buffs along with heals. His first skill increases defense of all allies. That's allies times 5. Really, really nice by 26%. Success rate 100, that's the important thing. So he's getting a defense buff all around, plus he's healing 2 allies, which is really nice. So you're getting that buff, you're getting damage mitigation, but you're also healing anyone that's low. Really, really good getting those 2 effects in one. Great for mitigation, great for survival. And then his second skill is another really nice skill. Deals damage equals blah, blah, blah. Deals so much damage to one enemy, and then additionally, he'll attack 3 enemies at the end. So he sort of does 2 attacks and then attacks everyone at once. And the great thing about this skill is it casts damage reflect on himself, reflecting about 20% of the damage, 100% success rate. So he's not only doing AoE damage with that skill, which is really nice, also because it's hitting one target twice. Also handy to get bosses for getting that extra bit of single target damage in, but he's putting the damage reflect on himself, and because normally he's going to be your tank sitting on the front line, he will be the one getting attacked, so he will be reflecting that damage, which is really nice. So, and that is Sekiro. Once again, definitely said his name wrong, but he's number 3 on my list. As we move into number 2 on my list, we are looking at, and this guy looks like an absolute beast, so I was really glad one of these guys was good. Alcon, he looks really, really nice. So leader skill, once again, not important. Max HP of fire allies by 10%. Yeah. But his first skill, okay, heals 3 allies. And also applies attack buff to 3 allies. And that's 100% chance to apply the attack buff, which is really nice. So this is, once again, when I'm talking about, when you're using a skill, you want to be getting multiple things out of it. Now, with this guy, something that may be a little bit strange in use compared to other games that you play, for him, because his attack buff is tied to a heal, what I normally do is I go into a battle, use one of my other units, use an AoE attack, get that early pressure on, and follow it up with his attack buff. Because normally after I use my first attack, the enemies will do a little bit of damage, then he'll buff my attack, but also heal me up to full. Then I'll be able to wipe that first wave, move into the second wave, because waves in this game continue your buffs. So you'll be able to move into that second wave with that attack buff ready for your next AoE attack to help you clear that wave. So this guy is amazing. I didn't pull him till really late on this account, so I was glad when I finally did, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to raise his level cap by feeding him dupes, but that skill is really, really nice for an attack buff. And then we look at his next skill, and this skill is actually really, really nice for boss stages as well, also moving into raids and stuff like that, but really for the boss stages, the stage 10 of scenario maps, deals damage to one enemy, but also puts that decreased damage on the enemy, which is the one we were talking about that Marty had earlier. Really nice effect to have, reducing the damage of the enemy by 31%, really does help with survival of your team, and on some of these boss stages, they do hit really, really hard, so that mitigation is actually really nice, especially if you're compiling it with like an attack break and a defense buff. Your mitigation becomes really good, and then obviously if he's mitigating that damage, you can then go around and pop his heal, get the attack buff. Really, really nice kit, and once again, a really cool looking unit, so I was really glad that he was actually effective in his kit. Moving on to number 1 on my list, he's the first unit I really used in my team on this account. I absolutely love him, and that's going to be Proxy. I don't know if he should be ranked number 1. Like, don't pay too much attention on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But these are just those units that I just think you're not going to waste resources if you do invest into them. And Proxy, I just really like him. He's got a dark. If there's 3 dark units on your team, you get a 15% attack buff. Not too important. Once again, I think you'll be using SSRs for your buffs. I mean, for your leader skills. but this guy, he's pretty nice. So deals damage to 4 enemies and decrease healing on enemies by 34%. The decrease healing may not seem massive, but healing is actually big in this game, especially in Arena. At the moment in Arena, the pairings don't work too well. Like often your team or the enemy team is just way overpowered. But when you fight sort of similar sort of level teams, it does become a big heal standoff where, you know, you're sort of doing your damage and then the heals come in, doing some more damage, heals comes in, and becomes a long fight. Having that heal break is really, heal reduction is really nice for the arena in that, and also any scenarios that do have healing, that is really nice. But the reason this skill is really good there is because it's a 4 enemy AoE attack that hits decently hard, so that's a really good skill. The heal reduction is just added bonus to it. The reason he's really amazing is this second skill, and that is deals damage to 3 enemies and heals based on his attack. Heals 2 allies based on his attack. So because he's an attacker and in his abilities tree, you can really stack his base attack. That means you're going to be getting a lot of extra damage out of him, but also extra healing. And that is where this guy is amazing. He's got 2 really strong AoE attacks that this second one also heals your allies. The first one puts the heal reduction on, and that is why he's my number 1. Once again, don't pay attention to the order. Just these are some of the units that I really do recommend. There's a couple other decent ones that I was looking at that didn't quite make the cut. I think this guy here looks decent, but I'd want to use him in more of a chill type team. Just because this first attack is only single target. His second attack is really nice, giving a blind and 4 enemies. Looks like it could be decent, but I'm not too sure on it, so he didn't actually make the cut, but he is one that eventually I will test. Once again, I'm probably a bit biased because he looks absolutely amazing. I love these designs of these lizard type guys with mechanical arms, but I'm sure there was some others that I missed, so definitely do check out the comments and leave in the comments what units you think are deserved to be in the list, because at the moment, it's still very early days. We still haven't even hit global launch at the time of recording this. So it's really good just to get the community's involvement and let us know what you guys are liking for the team. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. I'm going to try and record a few videos pretty soon and try and get them all up before global launch just to help out as much as I can. Like I said, my knowledge isn't sky high on the game, but I feel like I've got a good base to sort of help you guys who haven't even started get in the right direction. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.